Incredible greetings, incredible evening, everyone. How are you guys doing today? So, in this live broadcast, we're going to talk a little bit about designing in Silhouette Studio. And I wanted to just show, I had to do a design this past weekend, and it was for my dad's mom, who had just recently passed, and but her birthday was on yesterday, and they were doing a balloon release, and one of my cousins requested shirts, and I ended up kind of using the same elements from my mom's mom that passed last year, and I wanted to show you guys the differences in the two designs, although the same exact elements were used, but depending on what else you kind of add to it, it can change the design completely. And this goes back to how I'm always talking about not reinventing the wheel and utilizing what you already have. Um, and not always feeling like you have to recreate a design from scratch, a custom design from scratch for your customers, and you'll be able to cut down on your design time and be able to put out great work and finish your designs and just finish an order a lot faster than if you're always trying to either create a new design or if you're trying to search for templates. Most of you guys have quote unquote templates already, and you just have to switch them up. Even if you use something for a memorial before, you can now use it for birthday. If you use something for graduation, you can use it for a memorial. You can use it for business advertisement. All you have to do is just switch it up and make the words, the colors, and things like that match whatever it is that you're designing in that moment. Okay. So that's what we're going to talk a little bit about today. How are you guys doing? Go ahead and tap in. Let me know where you're watching from. Give this video a thumbs up, share it out. I'm about to share as well over on Facebook. So if you guys could bear with me just a moment, I'm going to go ahead and get this all shared out. Hello. Thank you guys for jumping on. I see you guys waving. Let me know where you are watching from if you want to, or just, for anyone else who's watching, make sure you just say hi. Also, take this opportunity while I am sharing this out to close out the chat. Go over to the main part of the video and give this video a thumbs up. And also, consider hitting the share button and sharing it with others. All right. So just give me a moment. If you have questions, feel free to go ahead and drop them. But I'm going to go ahead and share this video out. So it's going to be a moment of silence while I share this out. All right, so I got it all typed out. It should go a little bit faster now with me sharing this out. So again, just bear with me real quick here. Just need to share it to a few of my groups. All right, almost done here. All right, just give me one more second. Oh, almost done here. Just have to go to one more place over here. Just bear with me. Again, as you guys are coming in, drop a hey, how you doing? Let me know who's watching, where you're watching from. Be sure to go ahead and hit that thumbs up. And I guess also while you're waiting for me to share, well, you guys know for me, you can see from my screen that Silhouette Studio is one of my top programs of choice. But there's a lot of other softwares out there. Let me know if you use Silhouette Studio, if this is a software that you have considered learning, or just also simply just let me know what programs do you use for your designing needs. All right, there we go. All shared out. Okay, let's see. Hello, incredible greetings. Hello, thank you guys for jumping on from New Jersey. Thanks for doing this video. Hello from Atlanta, North Kakalaki. Hello from Fort Worth, Texas. I will be in Texas in September for the Impressions show. Hello. Silhouette, use Silhouette Studio, but not to full potential. Also use Photoshop, but bring into Silhouette to cut. All right. What do you think is keeping you from using Silhouette Studio to its fullest potential? Hey, from Michigan. How are you doing this evening? Now, I can't be on too long because I do have a creative business session this evening, which, let me make sure that I released. Oh, wait, did I release the date? Because it's been kind of between the rain, I was a little under the weather early in the week, and then the rain. I don't know if I released the Zoom session for my creative business program. So let's check. Oh, whoa. Excuse me? Okay, no, back it up. Can't be. The heck you mean? I sign in from this device all the time. Okay. Wow. Don't know why that's doing that. Oh, that was very, very interesting. All right, let's see what you guys are saying over here. Use silhouette. I use silhouette because you have taught me how to use it more efficiently. Woohoo! Effectively. I don't know where I got efficiently from. Effectively. Woohoo! I use Silhouette Studio primarily. Let's see. Not knowing fully how to use it. I have purchased your class, so I am learning. What day are you on right now? Okay, that's all updated. I almost forgot about that. Um, Same, I purchased your classes also. Oh, you just started it. Got through the downloads and the versions. Oh, okay. So yeah, you really are just getting started. You're in for a treat because we break down and go through a lot within those 30 days. So you get the bulk of it within like the first 22 days, 23 days. And then it's a lot of like just designing and Q&A type deals. So you will learn a lot from it. But I just want to go, like I said, I wanted to come on. I left these up, so I'm ready to actually shut them down because I have to record some content so that I can get rid of version 4.5. This version is just simply not working for me, but I want to record the content because I keep getting questions about the fade bars and when they open up in the software, and it's because you have that PNG trace on. So I need to make a dedicated video for that. There's also some weird things going on with, was it, let's see, it wasn't the offset, was it? No, it's not offset. What was it that was, I want to say, I know the replicate, no, was it replicate? Yeah, so you don't have numbers in the replicate window like here, so that's kind of off. I don't understand why they have not fixed that yet. Um, Everything just pretty much comes in with this locked, and then you can't really adjust this to certain dimensions. So if I come in here, we're going to unlock it, and I'm just going to take that up to 20, and then this to 20. Oh, well, that time it worked, but before it was doing something funky. So yeah, see if I lock it in place, it kind of comes back down. And then if I go 10, or actually, no, let's see, let's go 15, 30. See, it won't go past 19.685. So that part was kind of like, I mean, that now, I mean, if you unlock it, it will, but it was doing a bunch of weird stuff. So I'm like, and it also kept shutting down whenever I would try to save certain things or actually print certain things, it was shutting it down. So I'm ready to get rid of 4.5. It's a headache. I'm going to go back to 4.3, but I do have to record some content for those who do have 4.5 for those key things. So I just need to probably record those, get off of here, record those before class so I can get rid of 4.5. But yeah. So since I need to record that content, I need to get these things off of my screen because I've had them sitting open since yesterday. And I came in today, I just didn't touch the computer. I was afraid of it shutting down, and I didn't want to have to deal with opening all of these back up. So, like I said, I want to kind of just show what my design screen sometimes looks like. I am finding that a lot of the students or those who I come across in groups, and they're posting questions and I'm asking questions about like how they design. And it's almost as if some of you guys are wanting the designs to just come instantly. And it's like, I want to design this exactly how I am envisioning it. I don't want all of the extras and things like that. So I wanted to show this screen to show that I go through a lot, when I am designing. It'll one, as you can always also see, I never design on this thing. What was this? I have no idea what that is, but I never design on the actual design page. Um, and I start off like I kind of had a certain vision. So as you can see from like down here, or it's even was like here, how I was originally going to do the collage up here is different. And I create these boxes and these separations myself. So I'm measuring everything. I'm doing it all myself. And you can see kind of up here where those lines were, and I'm measuring them out to create these templates. Now, for me, I enjoy making the templates. I understand some of you guys don't. And I can so we're going to go back to the whole, that template day. And it's not that I'm opposed to templates. I just don't do a lot of like design ones because of how I design in Silhouette Studio. You can't really just take what I have there and just retype it like you would like in Photoshop. And you don't really have the layers to know where to move pictures. But things like this, when I am creating photo collages. I actually have taught this several times. I taught it in my master's program. I taught it in the crash course for designing in Silhouette Studio, and it was something else. I taught this in. So I've taught how to make your own photo collages if you have, the time to do it. But there will be some that we will have on our site where you can just simply drop in images. But as you can see here, this is where the design kind of started. And then we kind of moved over here. As you can see, I tried a couple different things with the pictures surrounding the image, the circle, the image in the middle being black and white. I did somewhere because the colors would be blue. I tried playing around with Silhouette Studio's tint and changing it blue. It's a little bit different when you're doing a color overlay and doing different blend modes in Photoshop. So I wasn't really too happy with how that kind of came out, and I couldn't really get the shade of blue that I wanted, but you can kind of just see like, how you can do it that way. Ultimately, I end up using just the original colors of the image. But again, there's all of the trial and error and the transitions and testing out different ones. I don't consider this to be a waste. I find that many, I guess because you guys are like, well, I need to hurry up and finish this. To finish this, I need to move on to the next order. And you're not really giving yourself time to find your design voice, to actually understand the software, understand what works and what doesn't work. This may not have worked for this one, but I do kind of like the whole black and white motif. So knowing how to change the images to black and white is going to be beneficial, maybe not for this one, but for another design. Same thing with the colors. It may not work for this one, but it may work for another design. So when I'm practicing these techniques and these skills, even if I don't use it today, there might be an opportunity for me to use it. And it's just good to have a good understanding of how to do these things so that when I'm doing it for another project, it's like clockwork. I'm able to just kind of breeze through it. As you can see, I go through a lot of fonts, a lot of different scenarios with how stuff is set up. Now, her name is, I created like a lot of things, memorial things for when she passed. So I just ended up just bringing that over. And I thought that I would use it in this design. I ended up not using it at all because it just used the word grandma because that's what she really wanted, not the name. But I did use this, however, for her balloon decals, where I just used that same exact thing, sampled the colors, and just made this where everything else it was sublimation. It didn't matter because you're just pressing it directly to it. You have the blur, and that's fine. But now when you want to do a print and cut, you have to have a dedicated Like you have to have an actual path for it to cut. So that's where, doing things like offsets. And I made the creative decision to make it blue just so that it seems like it's a part of the design. And some of you guys have seen the final results. If you haven't, go check out my Facebook page because I've posted several pictures of the decals and things like that. So stuff like this is what we teach in Foundations of Designing. Things like this is what we will teach in the master's program that's coming back in June, and how to take something that you've already created, but make it work for something else. How it was for the Sublimation shirts, or for anything printed like a banner, or for tumblers or memorial cards. That was totally different than now needing to use it as a print and cut, and you have to make adjustments. So I just wanted you guys to kind of see that whole thing. So I ended up not using that, but I took those wings off. I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to use the name. Well, let me still kind of have that whole thing, because it did say, so yeah, she didn't want happy birthday on it. Even though my grandmother's birthday, she just wanted to say rest in paradise. So I ended up putting the wings on the word grandma, because it's still memorial. I'm not big on like the wings behind people. I personally don't do a lot of designs like that, where there's a lot of wings and stuff behind people, or like the heavens and pearly gates and all that. But everyone has their own way of designing. That's just a personal preference for me. So I just kind of went through a couple different things, and that was the other thing with this, right? So for some reason, when you do text to path, it's stretching the letters out, and it's kind of weird. I'm going to actually make this more of a circle. So see, it was making the letters all weird when it comes to text to path. I use that way too much. So I definitely can't stay on this version. There's a lot of little glitches on this version that I was finding out. It's probably more. I'm not going to stay on here long enough to figure out what all of the glitches are, but there are some glitches within this version. And that was one of the ones that drove me crazy. So I ended up having to do other things to kind of get the arch and stuff that I wanted. But yeah, so ultimately, this was the first way that it was designed. The offset and the lettering around this match the designs that I did back in March, when she had when she first passed them for the service and all that stuff. So it was still kind of keeping with it, especially since my cousin didn't really have birthday on it, and I do have family that pays for stuff. So I love that about my family. They request it, they pay. So because she didn't make this like separate and like happy birthday, she just wanted to say rest in paradise. So it's still a memorial shirt, and I still wanted to kind of match what I already did. So I didn't have to really think too much about it or try to completely create this totally new design. I used design elements that I've already used, and then I just adapted it to what I was doing here. And everything that you see here was done can be done with the free version. Nothing, and I do mean nothing, that you see within this design required anything from designer or business edition. Okay. There was nothing that was used from the upgraded version, other than I will say, like, okay, if I have to fill in a color because I already had my color scheme and already had my color charts and stuff like that, I will use like my properties dropper. When I was trying to figure out different fonts and stuff, I would use my properties dropper, but you don't have to do that. You can just use the regular color dropper. So nothing was done with any advanced tools. All right. And then when it came to me just kind of wanting to, I always like to give options. So this was the first one that I ended up designing, and actually was the one that she chose. So this was more so kind of sort of just for me at this point, because she chose this one. But it was kind of special to me, and I'm okay with this being a design for me because, like I said, my other grandmother passed last year. So this was hers. Okay. So this was the shirt that I made for my cousins. Cause again, I don't wear picture shirts. I just had one that says, I am her legacy, but yeah, I don't do picture shirts, but we have the film strip and we have the snow globe. Now I had clouds on here. My grandmother's theme was daisies and stuff. This was what this part was. This wasn't the font from her service program, but this part was. And so, the same colors and all that kind of good jazz. Oh Lord. Okay. I'm trying not to cry. Okay. I gotta get off of this one. Um, but I just want you to see that I used the exact same elements. They're just kind of flipped. For Estelle, we have her front and center, and it's not like my grandmother Petronia's, where all of her pictures are inside of something. So having the black and white image, here just fills out the entire thing. And these are photo strips that I created for my yard signs, because I wanted something different when it came to the yard signs. Oh, come on. Why is my mouse acting crazy? Yeah, so I just wanted something different for the yard signs where you didn't feel like you have to remove the background. You can use like solid pictures of graduates. So this was the 3 strip, and then over here you have the 2. Um and then of course like Polaroids, like I could have done this with Polaroids or whatever, but that part of it started from the yard sign template. So again, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can just maneuver things around and make them work for what you needed to work for. Like I could have made a memorial yard sign using these same film strips, putting another picture there, I even left the little flag here and put rest in peace, rest in paradise. You don't have to. You guys, I promise you probably have so much content saved to your computer or saved in your library where you can get your designs done a whole lot faster and also feel fulfilled and not overwhelmed, or feel like, man, I just spent like 3 hours designing this. They only want to pay $15, or, and you'll get that feel. How many of you guys go through that where you feel like, man, I have to design for 3 hours to sell a $15 or $20 shirt? Even if it's an all over shirt, you're probably selling it for what, like $25, $30. Some people sell it for 45, but you have to do all this stuff to create this shirt. You had to design it. How many hours are you putting into this to never use those designs again? Now I can see, like me, I invested some time in designing, but these are now setups that I can use for something else. I just have to change out the picture, change out the names. For the word grandmother, I can leave that because it wasn't her name. That was one of the joys of how this particular one was set up. It just says grandma. I can use that for any grandma, and rest in paradise. And all I have to worry about in this particular template, as far as changing something, would be colors and then the dates. But you have to be willing to not want to give everybody something that's one of a kind and they're not paying one of a kind prices. Or they change their mind and don't even want to purchase. Exactly. If someone came to you based off of a design that they saw, that should be where you start as far as creating design. If they like that, figure out how you can change that, manipulate that to where it's going to work for them, because that is something that they were drawn to from something that they saw like on your social media or on your website. Let that be your starting point and then build from there. Okay. With the Silhouette Studio in 30 days, yes, and with that one, there is no lives anymore. That was done in March of last year, but it's still, you learn a lot. You get the full playback of the live. It's not edited. You get it raw and real. Any questions that were asked, you're getting to hear that. So you're hearing your peers' questions, and it might be some of the same questions that you have. That all is a part of it. And there's several people that say they feel like they're in the live class watching it back, so much so to where when I'm asking questions, they respond back. So it is, even though it is recorded, like you're watching it from the recordings, it's recordings from a live Zoom audience. All right. And right now, for anyone that's watching, if you aren't enrolled in the 30-day training, it is still currently $30 off. We're in a season of TPR, which is temporary price reduction. And that keyword is temporary. So if you are interested in setting the foundations, you can't join any advanced design classes or join, my master's program and think, I'm going to jump straight to this, because I don't go over the basics of, okay, well, this is how subtract works. This is how make compound path works. When we're designing it, it's like, okay, we're going to click here and you're going to select this one and you're going to make that a compound path. Okay, you see what that did to that? All right, so now we're going to get into moving and grooving of designing, understanding, like right now in Foundations of Designing, they're learning more about composition and layout and how things should be set up. We're going to go over, because we have a makeup session this coming Thursday, because I wasn't able to get out of the house. It was storming here last week. So we're going to talk about margins and safe zones and things like that when it comes to designing, things that you should know. And those are things, and that's knowledge that you acquire even before you start doing the designs. So if you want to be able to create designs like this, be able to mix and match and interchange templates and make adjustments and make changes with ease, that 30-day training is where it's going to start, because you're going to know exactly how to use those tools. Okay. There were people in the original class that had been using Silhouette Studio longer than me, 12 years. And yet I still taught them things that they did not know about the software, things they did not know they can do. Just got a review from somebody who had been using it for the past 5 years. And her mind was blown at things that she had, tools that she never even tapped on and didn't realize that they were there. And it was designs that she's made that she did them the long way. And had she known that little bit of information, it would have made her life totally easier. So yes, you can always learn, especially in the design ones. All right, so I just wanted to kind of show that one. And then because we had the outlines and stuff like that, when I made the decals for her balloons, it kind of just, flowed the same way and kind of had the same feel as far as the different outlines, just giving it a little bit of, it was a little bit different. So, all the balloons weren't the same. So some of them had the light blue in the foreground and the dark blue in the background. This one was dark blue in the foreground, light blue in the background. And we also had it, I did different light blue and dark blue for the happy birthday. This was the printed version, right? And this could easily go in there to where it's a print and cut. It's going around. It's solid. And it's keeping this part white. But you can also make this where it's just for one solid color and you're cutting it from vinyl. For me, the majority of my designs are more so vector based, where they are interchangeable. They can be printed, but they can also be cut from vinyl. Or just as a print cut, whether it's cut from cardstock, cut from vinyl, I'm going to hand cut it from foam board. Whatever it is, my designs end up being versatile. So when I talk about finding your creative voice and your design voice, for me, I don't really thrive a lot in the designs that can really only be printed. Certain designs that you create, the only thing that you can do is have it where it's printed or where it's displayed digitally, but you can't do any type of cutting with it. And sometimes not even being able to do DTF with it. So you have to find your design voice. And because I cater to more vector-based softwares. Before Silhouette, it was Corel Draw and Adobe Illustrator. You don't need, everyone does not need Photoshop. Photoshop is not the holy grail of designing, because if your designs are more so path and line based and making sure that you are able to easily adapt it to be able to have cut lines, you don't need Photoshop. Okay. Any questions for me before I hop off of here in regards to Silhouette Studio, how it works when it comes to designing and things like that? But I just wanted to kind of come on just to show that you can create designs that sell, and it doesn't have to be, team too much. For the balloons, you can't do team too much, because if you have like the cheaper, just, regular Mylar, the hearts, the circles, the stars, stuff like that, you can't put a lot of things on it because it'll weigh the balloon down. So you need to learn how to design and keep it very, very simple for things like that. I opted out of using and here is the fade bar. Some people always ask, well, what's the fade bar? How do you use it? So I didn't do this in Photoshop. It's going to end up being white, but I didn't want to have the complete like harsh line right here. So this is where you would end up using, see, there's the fade, and you just bring that up to where it's just going to soften that edge a little bit and kind of ghost that out some, to where we don't see the sharp line on the bottom. Same thing on the top, where we don't have that super, super sharp line. So I often get asked, how to use the fade bar. So many different ways that you can use it. And sometimes it's, for me, a lot of times the white or blacks or blending it into the color of a background. What kind of vinyl did you use for the photo? I use a Roland. So mine is a very, very thin, low profile vinyl, because I use a Roland. So I use Orajet's Principal Media. So it's not something that you can just put in your regular home-based printer. If you wanted to do that design with vinyl, but 2 colors divided down the middle, you would just cut with knife tool, talking about the age. Okay, so you mean like this was with vinyl, but you wanted, let's say you saying you wanted with 2 colors. So this technically was already done in that manner, to where I could click on my 2 outsides and make them a different color. So if I go back to, let's say, this one, I mean, of course, it's made with just a series of offsets. Again, something that you can do complete, with the free version. You can go to Silhouette America right now, download the free version, and you can start designing just like this. So for this one, you have the original numbers and you have 2 offsets. So if you want this part to be voided and you just want it to cut just the outline, and this part will be open. Right now, if I were to put this, I'm just going to just choose a random color here, send it to the back, you're going to see the white. You don't see what's behind it. So if I take this out, you don't touch the middle one at all. You're going to grab the outside one and then the inside. Oh wait, this one is this grouped together? Okay, no, so duh. All right, so we're going to grab here and here. So that's these 2. And you're just going to make it a compound path, and it's going to knock it out to where you still have 2 colors, but it looks like a 3-color design because the background is showing through. So if this was on white, you're still getting that white look, but you did not have to use white vinyl. I cannot recommend something if you're using a regular printer, because I don't use a regular printer. I use the Roland one for that very reason. The vinyl is lighter. I don't print. There really is no actual vinyl for any desktop printer. there's things where people call them vinyl stickers and things like that, but that's nothing more than a sticker. That's not vinyl at all. The heavier it is, it can weigh down your balloons. So I can't give you a recommendation for something that is not water slide. Well, I've never used the water slide, but most people will use water slides because they're very thin. As far as putting anything on it, whether I did it myself or I would have them printed from a print shop, this is not something that I ever really did picture wise, where I ever used just a regular desktop or, small office type printer. I've always used printable vinyl from a solvent or latex printer. So I don't have a recommendation for anything printed. Now, the happy 93rd birthday, that was with 651, but it's also kind of opened up. This right here, like just this 93, just like this, actually weighed down the balloon. So it's kind of crazy. So this by itself, just with it weighed down the balloon. However, I was able to put this entire thing on the balloons and it didn't weigh it down. And that was just regular 651. Any other silhouette related questions or questions about the 30-day training and what's in there? If you have any questions, now's the time to ask. If you have been considering 30-day training, just been holding off pulling that trigger, I don't know why. It's amazing. The amount of information that's in there, you'll never look at silhouette the same. I can guarantee that. All right. If there are no other, let's see. Thanks, Dean. I think I want to do some more vinyl items. I'm loving the puff vinyl and kind of want to do a design with both puff and something else. Be careful with the puff and mix with something else. Your puff will end up being your last one because it's meant to be pressed. And then once you peel it up, it puffs up. If you end up repressing it again, you can change the way that the puff part looks. So just make sure that whatever the other thing that you're adding, it's not too heavy, like trying to add like puff and rhinestones would be kind of tricky. So just practice. I highly recommend when you're working with puff, especially for the first time, don't let it be on a design. You're going to take some squares, start that way, make sure that you understand your heat, your time, your pressure. And then once you kind of have, you think you have a good range when it comes to that, print out something, even if it's just your name, or cut out something, even if it's just your name, with different fonts and stuff like that. Test it again, make sure that those settings that you that you determine works from the square, make sure they work and you get a good puff. So you really should be doing a lot of testing before you actually go and put it on a design. What panel was that you, so you don't create fades in Silhouette Studio at all. You cannot create them in Silhouette. So I sell the fades and you utilize them in Silhouette Studio, but you cannot create them in the software. No problem. Have you been to the website? All you have to do is go to the website and check. All right. So again, speaking of website, it's shop.hsink365.com. The thumbnails at the bottom, they do work. If you just hover over the thumbnails that are under the main banner, this will take you straight to the paper. You see, there's a like, see, if I go here, it's an arrow. So if I go here, it's an arrow. If I go up here, I get like a little hand. It's a little hand. You can actually click on these and they'll take you right to the collections that you need to go to. So you can click on the image or you can click on view options. So they all work. And if you scroll down, you're going to get to the 30-day training. It is $53.65 at checkout. So the number is not going to reflect here, but once you add that to your cart, you are going to see I can design, and there's a $30 discount during our temporary price reduction, and that will go back up to the regular price with probably an increase as well, because times have changed, there's inflation, and we have to make sure that business continues to move and groove. So once this goes back to regular price, it may not even be at $83.65. It'll probably end up being a much higher price point. So all right, no other questions. Thank you guys so very much for joining me. Until next time, guys, have a great, someone says, okay, wait. What do you mean wait? All right, look, I saw that. What's up? This is the 30-day training. This is nothing to do with like a particular subject matter. So yeah, the Stole class for text is totally different. This is the Silhouette Studio 30-day training. That's what this is. I'm not sure. I know like Miss Cheryl, like even though you guys were in bachelors and masters, you had the original Essentials of Silhouette Studio. This is the one that is okay, what the heck is going on here? I don't know why they didn't show me the other pictures. This is the one that's broken down into 30 days. So if you had the regular Essential Silhouette Studio that was just 6 hours long, this is different from that one. This is 30 days of Silhouette Studio. Yeah, that's what I was telling her, that you just got that. But yeah, this is the class that's been around for a whole year. You guys probably didn't take it before because you guys were in bachelors. We were learning this stuff for for the year and how it was set up. So so yeah, it is worth your money. Thank you for that live feedback. All right. Anyone else with the hold up, wait before I log off? All right. Until next time, guys. Peace.